everyone and welcome back. Today we're watching a movie. We're watching A Few Good Men. And I'm really excited because my mother-in-law was visiting last week. Well, she left a few days ago. She was asking me about my YouTube, my Patreon and this and that. I told her, I was like, well, actually this week I'm watching A Few Good Men. Like, do you know about it? Like, have you watched it? Is it good? Because I get excited about those movies. So she was like, oh yeah, that's a really good one, kind of like a court of law drama. And I was just like, say no more. Literally though, stop talking because I'm gonna have to watch it. But I dressed up. I have a blazer on, ready for court. So Tom Cruise, Jack Nicholson, Demi Moore. As usual, if you want to see the whole reaction, there'll be a link to my Patreon in the description. You also get to vote on the movies that I watch every week. So if you're interested, just go have a look. If not, it's totally fine. The movies will still show up here, hopefully on Fridays. So let's get into it. Oh. Okay. More on that later, I guess. Kevin Bacon? Wow. That's impressive.
Captain, I'd like to request
That was really cool.
The attorney. That it be I who on the sign. That's good. That's confidence inspiring.
Captain West, this is Lieutenant Commander Galloway.
Captain, I appreciate you seeing me on such short notice.
Understand we had some trouble over the weekend down in Cuba?
Yes, sir. This past Friday, 2 Marines, a Lance Corporal Harold Dawson and a Private Loudon Downey, entered the barracks room of a PFC William Santiago and assaulted him. Santiago died at the base hospital approximately an hour later.
Oh, he died?
And Santiago was known to be a screw-up. I was thinking it sounded an awful lot like a code red.
Christ.
I'd like to suggest that I be the one that it be me who is assigned to represent them myself.
You can crawl up a lawyer's ass with the best of them. But when it comes to trial work, I think...
I know. All passion, no street smarts. Bring her back in.
Joe.
Could she hear that?
Sir, I think there might be more involved than that.
Don't worry about it. I promise you, Division will sign the right man for the job.
All right, let's go. Let's get to Kathy. Dave, you seem distraught.
We're going to charge him with possession and being under the influence while on duty.
It was oregano, Dave. It was $10 worth of oregano.
Yeah, well, your client thought it was marijuana.
Oh.
My client's a moron. That's not against the law.
But, Captain, I got people to answer.
The MTD is denied. I'll file a motion in limine seeking to obtain an evidentiary ruling in advance. And after that, I'm going to file against pretrial confinement. And you're going to spend the next 3 months going blind on paperwork because a signalman second class bought and smoked a dime bag of oregano. Let's go. See, misdemeanor, 15 days restricted duty.
I don't know why I'm agreeing to this.
You have wisdom beyond your years.
They're gonna assign him. Looks good.
An hour later, Santiago's dead. Attending physician says the rag was treated with some kind of toxin.
You poisoned the rag.
Oh.
Not according to them.
What do they say?
Of course not.
Meantime, go and see Lieutenant Commander Joanne Galloway with Internal Affairs.
Daniel Caffey, I was told to meet with
Captain Galloway?
Lieutenant Commander Galloway.
Lieutenant. Whoops.
Not a briefing?
Lieutenant, how long have you been in the Navy?
Going on 9 months now.
And how long have you been out of law school?
A little over a year.
I see.
Damn.
Commander, Lieutenant Caffey is generally considered the best litigator in our office. He successfully plea bargained 44 cases in 9 months.
One more, I get a set of steak knives.
Have you ever been in a courtroom?
I once had my driver's license suspended.
Oh, yeah. It never makes it to the court.
He wanted to be transferred off the base. No one was listening. Finally, he wrote to the Naval Investigative Service, where he offered information about Corporal Dawson's fence line shooting in exchange for a transfer.
Right. Is that all?
Ooh.
Lieutenant, this letter makes it look like your client had a motive to kill Santiago.
Santiago is who?
The victim.
Write that down.
Write that down.
Commander, do you have some sort of jurisdiction here that I should know about?
I'm special counsel for internal affairs, so my jurisdiction's pretty much in your face.
Sure.
You're dismissed.
I always forget that part.
My sergeant grabbed me and pushed me down the hill. Then I saw all black, and the last thing I remember is hitting the deck. In exchange for my transfer off the base, I'm willing to provide you with information about
illegal fence line shooting that occurred the night of August the 2nd. Who the fuck is PFC William T. Santiago?
I can handle this situation, sir.
The same way you handled the Curtis Bell incident.
Sir, my methods of leadership...
Don't interrupt me, Lieutenant. I'm still your superior officer.
And I'm yours, Matthew.
I think Santiago should be transferred off the base immediately.
He's that bad, huh?
Word of this letter's bound to get out. He's going to get his ass whipped.
Or killed.
Maybe we have a responsibility as officers to train Santiago. Santiago stays where he is. John, you're in charge. Santiago doesn't make 4646 on his next proficiency and conduct report. I'm going to blame you. Then I'm going to kill you.
Yes, sir.
I think that's a mistake, Colonel.
John, that's all. Why don't we meet at the Oak Club and have lunch, and we'll talk about the training of young William.
I'd be delighted to hear any suggestions that you might have, sir.
Dismissed.
Yes, sir.
So they'll try to train him? Isn't that what he's doing every day? I guess they're gonna take a special interest in him.
Those names sound like they should mean something to me, but I'm...
Dawson, Downey, your clients.
The Cuba thing, yeah, so Dawson and Downey, right.
Oh my god. I would be so annoyed.
But I don't think you're fit to handle the defense.
You don't even know me. Ordinarily, it takes someone hours to discover I'm not fit to handle a defense. Oh, come on. That was damn funny.
Kinda was.
I wouldn't be doing my job if I allowed Dawson and Downey to spend any more time in prison than absolutely necessary because their attorney had predetermined the path of least resistance.
Wow. I'm sexually aroused, Commander.
I don't think your clients murdered anyone.
Well, I appreciate your interest and admire your enthusiasm. I think I can handle things myself.
You know what a code red is? What a pity.
It's the second time she mentions it. Like, he's funny and all, but I'm getting frustrated with her.
Is this your signature?
Yes, sir.
You don't have to call me sir. Is this your signature?
Sir, yes, sir.
You don't need to do it twice in one sentence. It's code red.
Sir, yes, sir, sir.
Was the attack on Santiago code red?
Yes, sir.
We were just gonna shave his head, sir.
What was your intent?
To train him, sir.
Train him to do what?
Train him to think of his unit before himself. To respect the code.
What's the code?
Unit, Corps, God, Country.
The government of the United States wants to charge you two with murder. And you want me to go to the prosecutor with unit, Corps, God, Country?
That's our code, sir.
It's your code. We'll be back. Harold, I think there's a concept you better start warming up to.
Sir?
I'm the only friend you've got.
Dan Caffey.
Hey.
Smiling Jack Ross.
Welcome to the big time. The platoon commander, Lieutenant Jonathan Kendrick, held a meeting with the men and specifically told them not to touch Santiago.
We still playing hoops tomorrow night?
We have a deal?
I'll talk to you when I get back. Joe, if you ever speak to a client of mine again without my permission, I'll have you disbarred. Friends?
I had authorization.
From where?
Jenny Miller, his aunt on his mother's side.
Does Aunt Jenny have a barn? We could hold the trial there. I can sew the costumes. Maybe his Uncle Goober can be the judge.
What an
I'm going to
ass.
Cuba with you tomorrow.
But I like him.
And the hits just keep on coming. You know, Ross said the strangest thing to me right before I left. He said the platoon commander, Lieutenant Jonathan Kendrick, had a meeting with the men and specifically told them not to touch Santiago. I never mentioned Kendrick. I don't even know who he is.
I was wondering who Kendrick was, because they named Dawson and the other two that are like his clients. But Kendrick? Don't know who that is. Oh, was it the guy that was talking with Jack Nicholson? I'll just shut up.
We'll be riding pretty close to the fence line. Cubans see an officer wearing white. They think it might be someone they want to take a shot at. Good call, Sam.
Just not that crazy about boats, that's all.
Jesus Christ, Cappy, you're in the Navy for crying out loud.
Yeah.
Nobody likes her very much.
Yes, sir.
She's right though.
Nathan Jessup, come on in.
Oh, that's Jessup.
It's my XO, Colonel Markinson, and platoon leader, Lieutenant
that-
Kendrick.
Oh, that's Kendrick. That's Markinson. Sorry, there's a lot of names being thrown around.
Folks down there said a little black girl couldn't go to an all-white school. Lionel Caffey said, well, we'll just see about that.
Ooh,
How the hell is your dad, Danny?
he's
He
dead.
passed away 7 years ago, sir.
Oh.
JAG insists that we interview all the relevant witnesses.
The JAG Corps can be demanding that way.
Never has a pen. Cause Kendrick, he said that he'd be prepared to do whatever he needed to do. So I don't know. He kind of seems like the kind of guy that, well, I was gonna say follows orders, but like blindly follows orders.
Sam, we should make sure somebody gets this to his parents. We don't need it anymore. Lieutenant Kendrick, may I call you John?
No, you may not.
Have I done something to offend you?
No, I like all you Navy boys. Every time we gotta go someplace to fight, you fellas always give us a ride.
Lieutenant Kendrick, do you think Santiago was murdered?
Commander, I believe in God and his son, Jesus Christ. And because I do, I can say this. Private Santiago is dead, and that is a tragedy. But he is dead because he had no code, no honor. And God was watching.
How do you feel about that theory?
Sounds good. Let's move on. Santiago is going to reveal the person's name in exchange for a transfer.
Yes.
If you feel there are any details that I'm missing, you should feel free to speak up.
Thank you.
Now, at this point, you call Lieutenant Colonel Markinson.
We agreed that for his own safety, Santiago should be transferred off the base.
Santiago was set to be transferred.
The
He lying.
0600 the next morning.
Thank you, sir.
Wait a minute, I've got some questions.
No, you don't.
Yes, I do. I was just wondering if you've ever heard the term Code Red.
I've heard the term, yes.
My point is that I think Code Red still go on down here. Do Code Red still happen on this base, Colonel?
Joe, the Colonel doesn't need to answer that.
I'm gonna tell you something, and listen up, because I really mean this. There is nothing on this earth sexier than a woman that you have to salute in the morning. If you haven't gotten a blowjob from a superior officer, well, you're just letting the best in life pass you by.
I need an answer to my question, sir.
With caution in your tone, Commander. You want to investigate me, roll the dice, and take your chances. I eat breakfast 300 yards from 4,000 Cubans who are trained to kill me, so don't think for 1 second that you can come down here, flash a badge, and make me nervous.
Colonel, I just need a copy of Santiago's transfer order.
What's that?
Santiago's transfer order. You guys have paperwork on that kind of thing. I just need it for the file.
For the file.
Yeah.
You can have all the transfer orders that you want. But you have to ask me nicely.
I beg your pardon?
You have to ask me nicely. I don't want money, and I don't want medals. What I do want is for you to stand there in that faggoty white uniform and with your Harvard mouth extend me some fucking courtesy.
I feel like he was pretty nice.
You gotta ask me nicely.
Colonel Jessup, if it's not too much trouble, I'd like a copy of the transfer order.
Please.
Sir.
No problem.
Oh yeah. This guy has to turn on him. Forgot his name already. Michael Merkinson. He's not comfortable. And can we just say, like, every time she just asserts herself and she, like, accepts no bullshit, they're all like, oh my god, that's hot. Oh, like, come on. That was so inappropriate.
Markinson's disappeared.
What?
Colonel Markinson's gone UA. Unauthorized absence.
I know what it means.
Oh, he left,
This
or?
afternoon, sometime after we left.
I'll try to find him in the morning.
I've already tried.
You tried?
I think Kendrick ordered the code red, and so do you.
Let's go.
Well, would it come from Jessup? He says he wasn't aware, or it could be going on when he's not aware, but I think he is aware.
Lieutenant Kendrick says that he gave strict instructions that nothing was to happen to Santiago.
Ma'am, that's correct. Then he dismissed the platoon and we all went to our rooms.
And what happened then?
Lieutenant Kendrick came to our room, ma'am.
Okay.
Lieutenant Kendrick ordered us to give Santiago a code red.
That's not what Kendrick says.
Kendrick's lying.
You have proof?
I have the defendants.
And I have 23 Marines who aren't accused of murder and a lieutenant with 4 letters of commendation.
Why did Markson go UA?
We'll never know.
No deal, we're going to court.
Joe.
No, you're not.
Why not?
Because you'll lose. And Danny knows it. See, Danny is an awfully talented lawyer, and he's not about to see his clients go to jail for life when he knows they could be home in 6 months. That's the end of this negotiation. I'll see you tomorrow morning at the arraignment.
Oh my god.
All right. We did nothing wrong, sir. We did our job, and if that has consequences, then I'll accept them. But I won't say that I'm guilty, sir. Do it, Harold. 6 months. It's nothing. It's a hockey season.
Wouldn't their careers be completely over after this?
What do we do then, sir? Now you're asking us to sign a piece of paper that says we have no honor. You're asking us to say we're not Marines. I believe I did my job, and I will not dishonor myself, my unit, or the Corps so that I can go home in 6 months. Sir.
Damn straight. I like that.
You don't like me very much, do you? Forget it, don't answer. Doesn't matter.
Don't want to get my feelings hurt.
You're such a coward. I can't believe they let you wear a uniform.
What happened to saluting an officer when he leaves the room?
Damn. It's crazy the different mentalities.
Dawson and Downey will have their day in court, but they'll have it with another lawyer.
Another lawyer won't be good enough. They need you.
You and Dawson, you both live in the same dream world. It doesn't matter what I believe. It only matters what I can prove.
You know nothing about the law. You're a used car salesman, Daniel. You're an ambulance chaser with a rank. You're nothing. Live with that.
Oof.
If you want to take this to court, you're going to force me to file like 9 kinds of discovery motions, and you're going to spend the better part of a year going blind on paperwork because a 90-year-old man misread the Delaware insurance code.
So what happened?
That's what he said.
Later, says, let's make it.
Is it laziness? He's scared, or well, he probably really thinks that their chances are slim, but doesn't mean you shouldn't try. It's interesting because he said, it doesn't matter what I believe, it matters what I can prove, and to some extent he's right. But the other guy, Harold, he is standing on what he believes is right, so it's completely the opposite. So I guess it's kind of inspiring, and he should take example of him. It doesn't matter, he doesn't care that he would go to jail. He would be true to his beliefs.
Does defense wish to enter a plea?
No.
Yeah.
Oh.
They're not guilty.
Oh, okay. I thought he meant like the
Enter a
deal
plea
they
of not guilty
discussed.
for the 3 weeks from today, at which time this general court-martial will reconvene.
He's like, ruh-roh.
Why does a lieutenant junior grade with 9 months experience and a track record for plea bargaining get assigned a murder case? Would it be so that it never sees the inside of a courtroom?
Oh.
We'll work out of my apartment every night, 7
It
o'clock.
tracks.
Joe, before you come over. The only thing I have to eat is Yoo-hoo and Cocoa Puffs, so if you want anything else, bring it with you. Okay? So this is what a courtroom looks like.
Pretty nice. He said, bring your own snacks.
She said if Markinson doesn't want to be found, we're not gonna find him.
Hmm.
She said I could be Markinson and you wouldn't know it.
Are you Markinson?
No.
I'm not Markinson. That's two down. You think Dawson and Downey knew it was an illegal order?
It doesn't matter what they knew. Any decent human being would have refused.
You're not permitted to question orders.
Then what's the secret?
I've got
Did you
medical
bring
reports
food?
and Chinese food. I say we eat first. What?
You got any Kung Pao chicken?
He expected to have no responsibilities.
Defense.
It's like, I just want to stand there and look pretty.
You pass me documents, do it swiftly, and you'll
Don't look over anxious.
Don't wear that perfume in court. Wrecks my concentration.
Really?
I was talking to Sam.
He speaks so fast. He's good. Tom Cruise is always so freaking good. They're all good, but... Bye. Mwah. Okay, no.
Danny,
I know what you're
serious.
gonna say, Rabbit. You like me, I won't make you say it.
I was just going to tell you to wear matching socks tomorrow.
Okay. Good tip.
I was gonna mention too, he always dresses, we're gonna get creamed. No, you won't. Just go over there, have spirit. Be confident. Confidence is key. And I'm also dressed up, so. But I was gonna say, he's usually like outside of work, he wears all these like funky shirts. He's very laid back, casual. Now he's got his big boy pants on.
You are gonna save our son, aren't you?
I'll do my best.
Now, Lieutenant Caffey is going to try and pull off a little magic act here. He's going to try a little misdirection. He's going to astonish you with stories of rituals and dazzle you with official-sounding terms like Code Red. And when we get to the end, all the magic in the world will not have been able to divert your attention from the fact that Willie Santiago is dead and Dawson and Downey killed him. These are the facts of the case, and they are undisputed.
You motherfucker.
It wasn't to kill or harm. And it wasn't because they were looking for kicks on a Friday night. It's because it was what they were ordered to do. Harold Dawson and Loudon Downey are sitting before you today because they did their job.
Please, the court. The government calls Mr. R.C. McGuire.
Who?
Squire, would you raise your right hand, please? Do you solemnly swear that the testimony you will give this general court-martial will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Got you, I got you.
Were you present at a meeting that Lieutenant Kendrick held on the afternoon of September 6th with the members of the 2nd Platoon?
Yes, sir.
Would you tell the court the sub...
Private Santiago betrayed a code we believe in very deeply, sir.
Were the other members of the squad angry?
Object. Speculation. Please, the court. This is government counsel honestly asking this witness to testify as to how my clients felt on September 6th.
Sustained.
Corporal, did Lieutenant Kendrick leave a standing order?
He's so happy.
Sir, he said Santiago wasn't to be touched.
Your witness.
Corporal Hammaker, are you in Dawson and Downey's barracks room 5 minutes after this meeting?
No, sir.
Thanks. I have no more questions.
The witness is excused. We'll adjourn for the day. You can call your next witness tomorrow morning.
All rise.
That's a good first day. Right?
We can't prove coercion. Let's go over what we have, okay?
Can't call the doctor?
Dr. Stone, what is lactic acidosis?
Ooh, the doctor.
Did Willie Santiago die of poisoning? Absolutely.
Absolutely. He's very,
For a person to have an affliction, some sort of condition, might also speed up the process of acidosis.
It's possible.
What might some of those conditions be?
It would have to be a very serious condition.
Is it possible
Well,
to have
he
a
was
serious
passing
coronary
out.
condition? What kind of symptoms?
There are hundreds of...
Chest pains?
Yes.
Shortness of breath?
Yes.
Fatigue?
Of course.
he had all of those.
Private Santiago was given a clean bill of health.
That's why it had to be poison, right, Commander? If you put a man with a serious coronary condition on duty with a clean bill of health and that man died from a heart-related incident, You'd have a lot to answer for, wouldn't you, Doctor?
Object. Move to strike.
Sustained.
In your professional medical opinion, was Willie Santiago poisoned?
Your Honor, we renew our objection to Commander Stone's testimony and ask that it be stricken from the record.
The objection of the defense has been heard and overruled.
Move to reconsider.
Witness is an expert, and the court will hear his opinion.
Dr. Stone, in your expert.
Nice try.
I strenuously object. Is that how it works?
I got it on the record.
Christ, you even had the judge saying Stone was an expert.
Sam, she made a mistake. Let's not relive it.
Okay. I see what he says.
Take the night off. Go see your wife, see your daughter, Joe. Go do
Whatever.
whatever it is you do when you're not here. Ross's opening statement, it was all true. I mean, let's pretend for a minute that it would actually matter to this court that the guys were given an order. I can't prove it ever happened.
We'll find Markinson.
Yeah, without that guy, it's...
Corporal Barnes, would you turn to the chapter that deals with code reds, please?
There are none.
Sir? Just flip to the page in the book that discusses code reds.
Well, you see, sir, code red is a term that we use. I mean, just down at Gitmo. I don't know if
Oh,
it's
we're luck
actually-
then. Is there no book, no manual or pamphlet, no set of orders or regulations that lets me know that as a Marine, one of my duties is to perform code reds?
No, sir. No book, sir.
No further questions.
Corporal, would you turn to the page in this book that says where the mess hall is, please? You mean to say in all your time at Gitmo, you've never had a meal?
No, sir. 3 squares a day, sir.
I don't understand. How did you know where the mess hall was if it's not in this book?
Well, I guess I just followed the crowd at chow time, sir.
No more questions.
Merkinson?
Oh, Jesus Christ!
I know everything.
Was it a code red?
Yes.
Did Kendrick give the order?
Yes.
You're going in a straight line. Why are you doing this?
He was never going to be transferred off that base. He said he wanted him trained.
You've got the transfer order. It's got your signature.
I know. Signed him the morning you arrived in Cuba, 5 days after Santiago died.
Hey, Danny.
So-
Nice work today. Redirect on Barnes.
I have Markinson.
Shh.
Where is he?
Motel room in Northeast with 6 federal marshals outside his door. Take a sip of your drink.
Don't
That's
tell
where the
him
marks
that.
are signed.
I want you to acknowledge that the judge advocate has made you aware of the possible consequences involved in accusing a Marine officer of a felony without proper evidence.
I've been so advised.
You got bullied into that courtroom by the memory of a dead lawyer.
His daddy.
You're a lousy fucking softball player, Jack!
You boys are going down, Danny. I can't stop it anymore.
Lieutenant Kendrick, in your opinion, was Private Santiago a good man?
Oh,
I'd say
shit.
he was about average.
Did you report Private Bell to the proper authorities?
The only proper authorities I am aware of are my commanding officer, Colonel Nathan R. Jessup, and the Lord our God.
At your request, Lieutenant Kendrick, I can have the record.
Objection, argumentative.
Sustained. Watch yourself, counselor.
Before you wreck yourself.
Lieutenant, do you know what a code red is?
Yes, I do.
Have you ever ordered a code red?
No, I have not.
Ooh.
You did order the denial of food.
Yes, I did.
Wouldn't this form of discipline be considered a code red?
No.
Dawson brought a hungry guy some food. What crime did he commit?
He disobeyed an order.
And because he did, because he exercised his own set of values, because he made a decision. I mean, surely a Marine of Dawson's intelligence can be trusted to determine on his own which are the really important orders and which orders might say be morally questionable.
No, he cannot.
A lesson he learned after the Curtis Bell incident, am I right?
I would think so.
I specifically ordered those men.
Is it reasonable to think he would have disobeyed you again?
Lieutenant, don't answer that.
You don't have to, I'm through.
Lieutenant Kendrick.
He's getting emotional.
Lance Corporal.
There was no flight at 11 o'clock. What the fuck are you trying to pull?
Jessup.
What are you telling me? He fixed the logbook?
Of course he did.
You don't still intend to put me on the stand?
Thursday morning, 10 o'clock.
I was William's executive officer. I knew your son vaguely. Your son is dead for only one reason. I wasn't strong enough to stop it. Always, Lieutenant Colonel Matthew Andrew Markinson, United States Marine Corps.
Oh my god!
Private, I want you to tell us one last time.
At least he left a note, but...
Well, if you didn't make it back to the barracks until 1645, how could you be in your room at 1620? Did you ever actually hear Lieutenant Kendrick order a code red?
Well, no, sir.
Please, the court, I'd like to request a recess in order to confer with my client.
Did Lance Corporal Dawson tell you to give Santiago a code red?
How?
Don't look at him!
How?
Private, answer the captain's question.
Yes, Captain. I was given an order by my squad leader, Lance Corporal Harold W. Dawson, United States Marine Corps, and I followed it.
So it's Dawson who gave him the order, but he received it from Kendrick. That doesn't look good.
You know, as far as Downey was concerned, it was an order from Kendrick. It doesn't matter that he didn't hear it firsthand. He doesn't distinguish between the two.
Downey wasn't in his room. Wasn't even there. That was an important piece of information, don't you think?
Danny, it was a setback, and I'm sorry. But we fix it and move on to Markinson.
Markinson's dead.
He moved on.
Why did you ask Jessup for the transfer order? In Cuba, why did you ask Jessup for the transfer order?
What does it matter?
Why?
I wanted the damn transfer order.
Doubts?
Bullshit. You didn't want the transfer order. You wanted to see Jessup's reaction when you asked for the transfer order. Now, damn it, let's put Jessup on the stand and end this thing.
What possible good could come from putting Jessup on the stand?
He told Kendrick to order the code red. You put him on the stand and you get it from him.
No problem. We get it from him. Colonel Jessup, isn't it true that you ordered the code red on Santiago?
A little.
I'm sorry, your time's run out. What do we have for the losers, Judge? After falsely accusing a highly decorated Marine officer of conspiracy and perjury, Lieutenant Caffey will have a long and prosperous career teaching typewriter maintenance. Thank you for playing. Should we or should we not follow the advice of the galactically stupid?
I'm sorry I lost your set of steak knives.
And if I were Dawson and Downey and I had a choice between you or your father to represent me in this case, I'd choose you any day of the week and twice on Sunday. You should have seen yourself thunder away at Kendrick.
He's good. He's really good.
Did you put Jessup on the stand?
Nope.
You think my father would have?
Yes.
The evidence we got? Not in a million years.
Oh. Never mind.
So there's really only one question. What would you do?
Sorry about what I said. I'm gonna put Jessup on the stand.
It's a big fish. Big fish to fry. Okay. This could go very bad. But it's not gonna.
I think he's pissed off that he's got to hide from us. I think he wants to say that he made a command decision and that's the end of it. He eats breakfast 300 yards away from 4,000 Cubans that are trained to kill him. And no one's going to tell him how to run his unit, least of all the Harvard mouth in his faggoty white uniform. I need to shake him, put him on the defense.
Ask him nicely.
Stay here. I'm going to the office for a while.
He does think better with that bat.
What do you see? What's going on? Talk to me, buddy.
Listen, Danny, when you're out there today, you feel like he's not gonna say it. Don't go for it. You could get in trouble.
Just need to disrespect him. He gets riled up and emotional. Ask him nicely.
Defense calls Colonel Nathan Jessup.
Do you solemnly swear that the testimony you will give in this general court-martial will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, I do.
Would you have a seat, please, sir?
Sup, dude?
I ordered Markinson to have Santiago transferred off the base immediately. I felt his life might be in danger once word of the letter got out.
Grave danger?
Is there another kind?
Was that the first flight off the base?
The 0600 was the first flight off the base.
You fucking liar.
Did you wear that uniform on the plane?
Please, the court, is this dialogue relevant to anything in
The defense
particular?
didn't have an opportunity to depose this witness, Your Honor. I'd ask the court for a little latitude.
A very little latitude.
Colonel?
I wore utilities on the plane.
You brought your dress uniform with you.
Yes, I brought a change of clothes and some personal items.
Thank you. Santiago's barracks room was sealed off and its contents inventoried. 4 pairs of camouflage pants, 3 long-sleeve khaki shirts, 3 pairs of boots.
Lieutenant Caffey, I have to ask you to state your question.
I'm wondering why Santiago wasn't packed. Tell you what, we'll get back to that one in a minute. And these are 14 letters Santiago wrote in 9 months, requesting, in fact begging for a transfer. Upon hearing the news that he was finally getting his transfer, Santiago was so excited that do you know how many people he called? 0. Nobody. Not one call to his parents saying he was coming home. You were leaving for 1 day. You packed a bag and made 3 phone calls. Santiago was leaving for the rest of his life.
Huh.
Can you explain that?
Judge is like,
Your Honor.
The objection is noted.
he's got a point.
I'm an educated man, but I'm afraid I can't speak intelligently about the travel habits of William Santiago. What I do know is that he was set to leave the base at 0600. Now,
Motherfucker.
are these 2 Marines are on trial for their lives. Please tell me that their lawyer hasn't pinned their hopes to a phone bill.
Lieutenant Caffey.
He's sweating. Don't do it.
Lieutenant, do you have anything further for this witness?
Sit
Thanks,
your
Danny. I
ass
love Washington.
down.
Excuse me. I didn't dismiss you.
Ooh.
I beg your pardon?
I'm not through with my examination. Sit down.
Defense counsel will address the witness as
He's
Colonel
shaking.
or Sir.
I don't know what the hell kind of unit you're running here.
The witness will address this court as Judge or Your Honor.
Ooh.
I'm quite certain I've earned it. You see it, Colonel.
Yes, Judge.
A moment ago, you said that you ordered Lieutenant Kendrick to tell his men that Santiago wasn't to be touched. Any chance Lieutenant Kendrick ignored the order?
Ignored the order?
Any chance he forgot about it?
No. Put your life in another man's hands? Asked him to put his life in yours?
No, sir.
We follow orders, son. We follow orders or people die. It's that simple. Are we clear?
Maybe we follow orders and people die.
Are we clear?
Crystal.
Crystal. If you gave an order, and your orders are always followed, then why would Santiago be in danger? Why would it be necessary to transfer him off the base?
Sometimes men take matters into their own hands.
No, sir. You made it clear just a moment ago that your men follow orders or people die.
You snotty little bastard.
Your Honor, I'd like to ask for a recess.
I'd like an answer to the question, Judge.
The court will wait for an answer.
Lieutenant Kendrick ordered the code red, didn't he? Because that's what you told Lieutenant Kendrick to do.
Object!
And when it went bad,
That'll be all,
you cut
Counsel.
these guys loose!
Damn it, Cappy!
You coerced the doctor!
Consider yourself in contempt.
Colonel Jessup, did you order the code red?
You want answers!
I want the truth!
You can't handle the truth! Son, we live in a world that has walls, and those walls have to be guarded by men with guns. Who's gonna do it? You? You, Lieutenant Weinberg? You have the luxury of not knowing what I know, that Santiago's death, while tragic, probably saved lives. You don't want the truth because deep down in places you don't talk about at parties, you want me on that wall. You need me on that wall. We use words like honor. We use these words as the backbone of a life spent defending something. You use them as a punchline. I have neither the time nor the inclination to explain myself to a man who rises and sleeps under the blanket of the very freedom that I provide and then questions the manner in which I provide it. I would rather you just said thank you and went on your way.
Did you order the code red?
I did the job.
Did you order the code red?
You're goddamn right I did!
Captain Ross.
Colonel, what's going on? I did my job. I do it again. I'm gonna get on a plane and go on back to my base.
You're not going anywhere, Colonel. MPs guard the Colonel.
I'm being charged with a crime. Is that what this is?
What do you think?
I'm being charged with a crime? I'm gonna rip the eyes out of your head and piss at your dead skull! You fucked with the wrong Marine! You put people's lives in danger. Sweet dreams, son.
Don't call me son. I'm a lawyer and an officer in the United States Navy. And you're under arrest, you son of a bitch. The witness is excused.
I'm sweating.
All rise.
Guilty. I mean, they're not guilty, but the other guy is.
On the charge of conduct unbecoming a United States Marine, guilty as charged.
Oh.
And you are ordered to be dishonorably discharged from the Marine Corps. This court-martial is adjourned.
That's the exact thing they wanted to avoid.
You were supposed to fight for people who couldn't fight for themselves. You were supposed to fight for Willie.
I guess it makes sense, right? There's still consequences.
You don't need to wear a patch in your arm to have honor.
Ten, hut! There's an officer on deck.
Chairman Cecil O'Malley and Anthony Rodriguez, what exactly were these guys going to testify to?
Unless I'm mistaken, they're both going to testify under oath that they had absolutely no recollection of anything.
Strong witnesses.
And handsome to it, didn't you think?
They don't know shit.
Tell them I say hi.
That one was for you, Dad. No, that was for himself. The end. Okay, that was good. That was good. That last scene, well, I mean, one of the last scenes, the Jack Nicholson scene, the officer, Colonel Jessup, when he was on the stand. That was insane, like the close-up on his face, and I was so caught up in the moment that I didn't even acknowledge, because that line, that's like one of the most like well-known quotes from a movie, right? You can't handle the truth. Like, I say that sometimes. I do say it. I just never knew exactly where it came from. I was so like caught up in I had goosebumps. The way he's just like, in this movie, they were talking very, very fast. At first, I was trying to keep up with the names and trying to like remember who was who. And even the Dawson, at some point I was like, well, who's Dawson? I thought he was like some big, like high-ranked officer, but it was Jessup. But I thought there was someone else that was like super high up. But then it's Dawson and Downey. So, but I was still trying to keep up with the names because I was just like, they're throwing names at me without seeing them. Like when we met Markinson, I was just like, who the hell is he? But they mentioned him, and now like we saw him right after. So it took a bit of time for me to know exactly who they were talking about sometimes, but it was so good. Like every scene is just like, Tom Cruise he's so freaking good. He's like a little too good. And I really liked when he said they're pleading not guilty, right? Because he was putting the pieces together. He was getting curious, and he was like, why would they put me on the case? Maybe because they know I'm kind of like the king of the plea deal, of not bringing cases to court, because it's just like, oh, I'm going to drown you in paperwork, and no one wants to do that. No one wants to do the hard work. So they're just like, we're going to throw that case to that guy. He's not going to want to go to court. Like, we're not going to get in trouble. They're not going to look into this. He's not going to want to. But Demi Moore's character, Joanne, I love how she was pushing him, and she was just like, pushing him basically to just like get curious. Yes, maybe it would be like way easier for you to be like, oh yeah, let's close it, you'll be home in 6 months. And even his clients, Dawson, well, mostly Dawson, because Downey was just like, what's going on? Dawson made him understand that, like, I don't care if I go home in 6 months. What matters to me is my honor and my code, like they were saying. His career was a big part of his identity, right? He got into the Marines, like, to live a certain way and to live by a code. And even if he's not going to jail for the rest of his life, he's going to lose that, right? So he didn't want it. He didn't want that plea deal of like, oh, 6 months, you're home. Okay, but then what? What am I going to do? So it's unfortunate that at the end, he was like, they were not guilty, but guilty of the last one they were found guilty of, and they were honorably discharged from the Marines. So yeah, they still lost their careers in the end. And like the guy was saying, Jessup ordered the code red, so why are we like in trouble? And I get that it's the whole, like, we have to follow orders or people die and this and that, but, it still resulted in someone dying, and they were the hands, So, yeah, it's unfortunate and very sad, but, a man died. A man died. So it's just fun to see him go from this, like, cocky, excellent lawyer who's like comfortable, and he knows that he's not going to be there for a long while. I think that's what Joanne said, that like he's going to do like a year and then, go find another job or whatever. So he was just like comfortable in doing that, having deals and not looking deeper. And we could see that he's a really, really good lawyer. He was like made to be a lawyer, right? He had his dad that was like this awesome lawyer as well. So a lot of pressure, and maybe he never got tested and was scared to be tested, and eventually, being pushed. And he also wanted to fight for these guys, right? He changed his mind, and then they kept like, when the guy offed himself, that was bad. He really wanted to give up, but the whole like clothing thing that he didn't pack and this and that, and he was sending letters for 9 months, and then he wasn't ready to go, like, that was good, because they mentioned his clothes, right, when they like visited his room, well, the scene of where he died, right, the crime. They saw his clothes, and it was like, oh, let's send this to his family. But it was neatly folded and hanged, and they didn't say anything at that time, but it was just like, now it makes sense, right? And I think that's what made him realize that it was suspicious and that he could use that. He already knew that he wasn't ordered to be transferred. There wasn't any transfer orders. Well, it just made him realize that he could use that to his advantage, maybe to prove that he wasn't actually going to get transferred. And even the jury was just like, how about that, huh? That was really, really, really good. Great movie. Awesome. Nothing to say. So that was A Few Good Men from, 1992. So I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you next time for another movie. Thank you so much for watching.